Long forgotten until discovered in the 1700s, the ancient Book of Enoch shook the foundation of the early Christian church. Everyone that encountered it was left shaking in terror, including the priests in power. The secret knowledge of the book made people go on different expeditions that drove them mad, and the ones who maintained their sanity were just not the same again. What is the content of this book? How is it explained by Joe Rogan, and how exactly did it make people mad? Strap in as we unravel the 2,000-year-old Bible that revealed terrifying knowledge about the human race. Before we delve into the details, we need to understand some important content about the Book of Enoch. The ancient Book of Enoch was found in Abyssinia, Ethiopia, in 1773. It is also known as the Ethiopic Book of Enoch's pseudepigraphical work. A pseudepigrapher is a writing that claims as its author someone who did not produce it. In other words, a forgery. The real author wrote the book under the name of someone else. The idea is usually to provide the writing with some sort of authority that it did not originally have. According to Joe Rogan, a well-known on-air personality, the Book of Enoch is a book of essential truths tied down by politics and the human struggle for power among themselves. Joe Rogan is known for his solidarity with the Book of Enoch, and many scientists have been invited to his podcast show to talk about it. The Books of Enoch are part of a large pseudepigraphy group. Within this group are other books supposedly penned by various biblical greats, with titles such as The Life of Adam and Eve, The Treatise of Shem, and the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. The Book of Enoch stands as substantial proof that there was not a single Judaism practice in Palestine during the Second Temple period, but rather multiple Judaisms. An apocalyptic Christianity emerged. The Book of Enoch is an Old Testament book containing events written long before Jesus was born. The original manuscript of this ancient book disappeared at the end of the 4th century. Enoch has been found in Greek, Latin, Syriac, and since the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in Aramaic. When renowned Scottish explorer and scholar James Bruce set out to find a book he hoped would preserve the secret of ancient rites, he returned instead with an ancient Ethiopian depiction of the origin of the very source of evil itself, the devil. It was announced by the early church fathers and preserved solely, save for fragments, within the ancient Ethiopian tongue of JRE. The Book of Enoch offers us a tale no establishment of the time wished to see credited, rooted in esoteric Jewish thought. The Book of Enoch suggests that the hated and feared figure of the devil itself may once have been humanity's very own ally and mentor at a time in which Britain was involved in lengthy territorial conflicts with the Spanish state. James Bruce traveled extensively, always studying the native cultures and artifacts of those around him. For a time, he was British consul in Algiers, spending several years pursuing his interest in antiquarian relics and ancient ruins. It is possible that it was at this point that Bruce first learned of the significance of the missing Book of Enoch. Upon completion of his role in Algiers, he took it upon himself to set out in search of the Blue Nile, the true Nile of the ancients. Yet, despite his scientific ambitions, Bruce also had a more arcane agenda, one rooted in the very tradition of Western Christianity and the mythology of its central antagonist. Passing through Alexandria, Fez, and Cairo to name but a few places, Bruce arrived in the former Ethiopian capital of Gondar in 1770. From Gondar, he traveled through Abyssinia, ostensibly in search of the Blue Nile, whilst also searching out the Book of Enoch. A member of the Canongate Kilwinning Lodge, a Masonic lodge, Bruce's reasoning for his comprehensive study of the ancient Ethiopian language JRE and his travels to a region noted for its dislike of outsiders are both questions that can only be addressed by what Bruce hoped to find within that ancient text. Equated with the Egyptian deity Thoth by some Freemasons, Enoch was considered the founder of the written language. It is thought that part of James Bruce's motive in uncovering the ancient text was due to this belief that Enoch was in some way the author of secrets that Masons believed they were the true inheritors of. Finding Enoch's words would validate their own beliefs. Instead, Bruce found himself confronted with a notion far more perplexing. While we have become accustomed to the devil as a fall guy for all that is bad in the world, he is a convenient excuse for the theological argument of why God always allows evil to happen. What we see in the Book of Enoch is that the original story contained no antagonist other than God himself. It is not surprising then that the Book of Enoch, with its narrative implying that the source of wisdom originated instead from those whom the Hebrew deity attempted to destroy during the flood, never found a place in canonized Christianity and was left unpublished during Bruce's lifetime. To have made public such a story would have been to equate the development of a culture of creativity not with Christ and the institution of the Church, but rather to Azazel and the angels who turned away from God. Such an idea was anathema to both the religious and social climate of the time. This tale would have caused massive unrest of the kind that few authorities were willing to entertain. As such, despite the richness of its imagery, the story of the Book of Enoch continues to remain but a footnote in histories detailing the life and times of this most inspiring of Scottish adventurers. The Book of Enoch was also rediscovered at the Judean cave in 1946 to 1947 by some Bedouin boys caring for their sheep close to the cave. One of the young boys threw a rock into a cliff opening and was surprised to hear a shattering sound. Out of curiosity, he and his friends entered the cave and found several big clay jars, 7 of which had leather and papyrus scrolls. The Judean cave is near the ancient settlement of Qumran, located on the northwest coast of the Dead Sea. It is currently known as the West Bank. The scrolls were repurchased by antiquity merchants and scholars who found the text to be over 2,000 years old. Many other scroll fragments were also found. The content of the books. Several clerical scholars have disposed of the book, claiming it contains revelations God did not divinely inspire. The ancient books of Enoch were forbidden from the Bible for unveiling profound truths about the world's creation. The books record a list of sensual fallen angels, violent giants, strange cosmological facts, and other mystical revelations yet to be confirmed by Bible scholars. It is believed that the stories of Enoch reflect many features of Babylonian mythology. This book, credited to be written by Enoch, has also been confirmed to be a compilation of works that are mostly apolitical. This, Joe Rogan argues against. He argues that, though this story has myths of the Babylonians, these same myths contain answers to many of the scientific wonders of the world. And if it has been claimed by Christians too, why then is the book called a fallacy?